name is Allie.
Hi, I'm Kayla.
Nice to meet you, Kayla. Thanks for coming in today.
Of course.
So I'm a human services student at Western, and this is a practice interview for my interview class, so thank you for being willing to help me out with this, being a participant. The purpose of this interview is to provide you with appropriate resources and for me to be able to practice my interview and listening skills. Some need-to-know information for you. I'm a mandated reporter by law, which means that if you disclose intention to harm yourself or others, I'm required to report it. And your personal health information is protected and confidential under HIPAA and will only be disclosed with an appropriate additional provider, such as a pharmacist or additional health provider, in order to give you the best support and resources depending on whatever you tell me. So we have about 5 to 8 minutes to talk in this session, and I'm here to help you feel supported and heard. So what would you feel most comfortable starting our first conversation about?
Can I start off by talking about my roommates?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Because I am a female, of course. I mean, like, she, her, hers. And I live with 2 guys because I thought that would be simpler for me as I grew up with brothers. And last year I had a female roommate and she was very emotional, so I chose to go a different route. And like one of the guys that I live with has been a close friend of mine for many years, and he's a great guy and everything, but like lately I've just feel like since we've been living together, we've been getting on each other's nerves a lot more, and we don't have the same habits as like I thought we would, because before we moved in with each other, we decided to move in together because he admitted to me that he loves to do the dishes and he does not like to leave any dish unclean, and I was all about that as well because I'm very neat freak as well. And we've been living together for like 2 months now, and there's always dishes in the sink and they're not mine, and yeah, so it's just like a little pet peeve. And then like his girlfriend always comes over and stays the night, and we always argue about money for food and money for like paying bills and stuff, because he also plays guitar, so that uses up a lot of electricity. Like, it's an electric guitar and he plays it all the time with our other roommate Marcos, who's the drummer, who also uses up a lot of electricity. And like they also use up so much toilet paper. Like boys don't need toilet paper to pee, but like there's still so much toilet paper being used. I don't know why. Like, and that just costs a lot because we split that money as well.
Yeah.
And on the fact that they are in a band together, it's pretty loud in the apartment, and they don't always tell me beforehand when they're playing in the apartment, so I always have to just put on my headphones when I'm watching Netflix in my room so I can, yeah. They talk to all the neighbors nearby, but not me. And so, yeah, that's a little frustrating. But honestly, I do love them. Like, they're like brothers to me and super cool, but it's just like, I have a hard time talking with them because I could talk to Marcos, the drummer, but I can't talk to Trigva, as he like has a hard time expressing emotions and like gets really defensive when I do talk to him about anything little. And so, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned when you're talking about them talking with your neighbors about when they like play loud music but not talking with you about it. It sounds like that might be kind of like a point like of contention within the household. Can you tell me a little bit about how you feel like boundaries are being respected or not respected in your apartment?
Well, it could be that they just feel super comfortable with me, that they just think that I won't mind. But I do feel like it's not respectful to me because they just assume that I'm going to be okay with it when I'm not always okay with it. So, yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah. sounds like respect might be something that feels important to you. Does that feel like it's a true statement, or might be true with other living situations or environments you've lived in?
Yeah, I really like to be respected because this is the first time I've lived on my own since being in college.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always been in really bad environments growing up, especially with my family, like being surrounded by a lot of things I don't want to be surrounded by, and like that tends to make me feel like out of control in a sense. So like I want something I can control, and I thought like
Mm-hmm.
having my own space would allow for that, and I just feel like I don't have that anymore, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mentioned that it feels like a little bit out of control, like in your household and just in your interactions with your roommates. Are you able to identify even like one way or like one thing within the house that you do feel control over?
I do appreciate that he let me decorate the bathroom because we argued about that for like 2 weeks, but then I just won eventually because, you know, I always win eventually. And it's cute in our bathroom, and I get to decorate my own room, which is nice. So at least I do have my own room, because like if I were to have a roommate, it would be like more of a problem, I feel like, because they get to share a room and the rent is split like evenly 3 ways, so like I don't pay more for having my own room. That is so nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does seem like it would be a really nice part of it, that it does seem like it's a fair distribution of resources, besides what you talked about a little bit with maybe the boys using a little bit more of the resources than you feel like that you are. But overall, does it feel like it's an overall fair kind of environment? Just as a kind of general sweeping assumption, I guess. let me say that again. Because I'm trying to make a statement. I don't know what that looks like. Yeah. So besides maybe a lack of, you feel like you're not being respected into the entirety that you would like to be in the household, or being valued as much as you feel like they value maybe your neighbor's not privacy, your neighbor's consideration for the noise. Do you feel like it's the resources and everything is kind of fair as a overall throughout your household?
Yeah, I think it's fair to them, but for me and the way I grew up, like I'm very stingy with money and like resources, that like I don't like wasting anything. Like I like count how many like squares of toilet paper I use, like just because like I'm very particular. Like I use like on average like 5 squares, because like I don't use what I don't need, you know, and like hate letting things go to waste, and I like make sure every light is turned off, and like, you know, if it's not being used, I just like am very kind of OCD about it. But yeah, and I feel like they aren't, and I feel like normally like that's okay. But I feel like because of how I want to be presented and how I want my resources spread out, it's not fair to me.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like that's a normal thing, what they're asking for in the distribution.
Like there's just like a lack of consideration maybe for how your viewpoints may be different from where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just have 2 different perspectives and like different lifestyles on how we grew up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for talking with me and starting the session off. And thank you for participating in this first interview.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Gail.